Welcome again, and in this video is basically going to be part 5 on how to build a website. And in this section we're going to discuss now actually building the website. We've got some other critical steps out of the way. We've got a business plan, we've got a domain name, we've found a good hosting company, we've pointed our domain name. Now it's time to get a website, right? Again, this is synonymous to building a house. Now we've got the blueprint established and we've got all the materials that we need sitting on the sidelines. Now it's time to actually construct the website. Constructing a website can be a very daunting challenge, to say the least. So first, if you have any questions or even need to use my services, building websites is what I do. And I'm pretty good at it and can do corporate branding, web design, SEO, monetization, consultation, maintenance services, banner and image creation, and of course I can host your account as well. But basically, you need to find some channel, some system, some avenue of how to create and build your website. Obviously, we're going to assume in this video that going out and buying a giant book about programming at Barnes & Nobles or some bookstore is not a realistic option or solution. And to be quite honest with you, it's not. Again, unless you want to go to school and basically get a whole new degree in programming, it's really not going to be a realistic way to get online and continue. There are other avenues, however, that are very popular, very, very effective, and very efficient on how to create and construct a website. On this page is kind of a small list of a few of what I consider to be kind of my favorite and probably most popular site building sites, or sites that offer tools to build sites. And you can look in the information box in the upper right, and there will be links for each one that you can click and get more information about each tool. But basically there's Homestead, Site Build It, Build a Niche, Simple Web, and my personal site that I own and operate, QuickSite. But those 5 right there are a really, really good starting place to go and explore and take a look at how things. For example, here's my site, quicksite.com. And it's got a large knowledge base and a lot of information, and it's basically giving you information on how to build a website. And so, what are some of the tools to do that? Well, let's go over that. First of all, basically, regardless of whether you use an open source system, which can be found through Fantastico, which is an auto installer tool with your hosting company, there is about over 50 plus scripts that can help you instantly create a website, whether it's a blog, a content management system, a forum, a shopping cart. You don't have to go out there and pay monthly for these services. You don't have to go out there and pay for a shopping cart service. I find a lot of new webmasters falling into this trap. They wonder, how am I going to have e-commerce now? I have to go and pay for those services because I have no idea how to operate a shopping cart. Well, if you will have the willingness to take a little time to learn the learning curve of a piece of software, there are shopping carts. For example, OS Commerce is a very popular open source shopping cart system that can integrate with PayPal and other popular payment systems. And all you have to do is it's form-based. It's a form-based administration area, meaning you type in a username and password to access what they call the back end, and it allows you to fill out forms. And namely, in this example with the shopping cart, what is the name of the item, how much do you want for it, what's the description about it, and it gives you options on uploading pictures for it. Again, you don't need to know the coding that goes on behind having a shopping cart system, how it talks and integrates with PayPal. All you have to learn with these systems is how to use it. Exactly like email. Whenever you send an email, you don't know all the code that goes on behind how the email is sent, received, rejected, what goes into what folder. All you know how to do is to fill out the forms, the subject, the who it's to, the body. You know how to fill out the forms and click the buttons in your email to make it do what you want. Exact same things with these open source systems like OS Commerce. One that I'm a big fan of is called Joomla 1.5. There's other versions of Joomla, and it's kind of a cousin of Mambo, or a later version of Mambo. But all these are names of what they call content management systems, which again are form-based administration systems that you can use, log into, and change the content of your site. If you go with other services like Homestead, Site Build It, Build a Niche, or Simple Web, Well, namely the top three. Simple Web's a little different. But Homestead, Build a Niche, and Site Build It basically are going to do the same thing. It's a little bit more proprietary and on their end, but they provide you an administration area, just like with email, that has forms in it that you fill out, and you basically, in some cases, it's as simple as hitting save or a publish button, and then that content or whatever page you created now shows up on the web. And again, it really doesn't matter whether you use their system or an open source system, which is actually my preference, but make your own choice. Do what's best for you. Basically, any tool and web builder tool that you use is going to have those things in common. It's going to have what they call a backend, an area where you log in with a username and password that you want to keep protected, and that's going to produce links that produce forms that you fill out just like email. And when you click send an email, it sends the email. In these examples, you would click save or publish, whatever the case may be, and that automatically is going to create that new page on your website. And these are really, really great tools and ways to get a website up. Again, whether it's for a large corporation or even a small individual site. All of these have the tools that you need to make as big a site and almost as complex a site as you want. Because again, you don't need to know coding, you don't need to go into your hosting account or cPanel or the source files to make your website work. I find a lot of new webmasters that try this route, they get frustrated real easily because they got to understand that if you're going to learn HTML, if you're going to learn PHP, if you're going to learn how to or you're going to learn the tags in HTML code to create a hyperlink. If you're going to learn all those things, any site you create isn't going to be very attractive, and you're just going to be finding that it's a constant frustrating road of learning new things. And these tools provide you a very convenient way to get an online presence in a very professional manner, and that will give you time with a working website to then go learn those details. Because, let's be honest, anything you do know about coding or HTML or any programming language will only be a benefit to you, but it is not necessary to get online. Now, I know a lot of systems and hype marketing things say you don't have to have any coding or website knowledge, and this is true. You don't. They're those tools that I mentioned earlier and that are also in the information box in the upper right. These all, that's what they're there for, is to provide you an avenue and another way to produce a very complicated site in a very uncomplicated process. So again, if you want to check these places out, just use the links in the upper right information box. I'm kind of a fan of all these. I've run across a lot of customers who have them, and they can make some pretty decent sites. So, but again, it's important that you shop and that you go through each one to figure out what's going to be the best one for you, depending on mainly what you want to do and, more importantly, how you want to do it. If you're wanting to do blogs and forums and have total control over what you do, and especially if you want a platform that can evolve as you learn more about programming and PHP and HTML, probably Simple Web and QuickSite are going to be better options for you. Otherwise, Homestead, Site Build It, and Build a Niche are going to be some really good turnkey type systems that help you get set up. But on the negative side of that is they don't have as many long-term options that you would find with Simple Web or QuickSite, especially if you wanted to go into the source code and start getting creative and kind of adding your own programming. You'll want the bottom two. The top three really don't facilitate that too well, but they do offer some fantastic turnkey solutions to get you online and get your product, your information, or your message, or whatever you're doing out there in no time. So again, that is going to be a very, very important step, is to figure out which tool you're going to use to build your website with. And I would recommend you start your search with these here. And that concludes this video, and I'll see you on the next part.